What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Comic Talk. I'm your host, Eric Sheffield, with my co-host here, Willie Roberts. Willie, how you doing, man?
Hey guys, how are you? All good?
Good. Yeah. All right. We're gonna chop it up about my favorite comic book hero today. Well, one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Also, Dean, what's going on with you, man? How you been?
Pretty good. I'm ready to dive into this.
All right. Yeah, me as well, man. So today we're going to be discussing one of my favorite, and I think we'll see what the rest of the panel says about this Marvel hero. I think it's one of the best shows that used to be on Netflix, and now it's on Disney Plus. When it comes to this, the superhero TV show for me, um, and that is, of course, the man without fear, Daredevil. I've watched this show since it was on Netflix, and I love the show. I think Charlie Cox does an amazing job playing a role, and everyone just involved in that entire show is just an amazing thing to watch. So we're gonna dive into it. We're gonna talk about our favorite things about Daredevil in the comics and the TV shows, and we'll probably glance a little bit on the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie from the early 2000s. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. All right, so let's bring up our guy here, get him in the stream here. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
So here we have our Daredevil here, the man without fear. And this is one of my favorite comics, and we'll see how Willie feels about this one. He's got a comic with him that he's going to be talking about as well. But this is one of my favorite Daredevil comics.
Yeah.
By far. So I'll start out just saying that yeah, I enjoy the hero. I think his appearances on some of the Marvel TV shows as well as the movie and Spider-Man No Way Home. It's just something about it's very nice to see a character that you love and you've seen in the comics come to life. And again, I know in the previous video we were talking about Superman and Batman and how we felt about the two different Batman, the Snyderverse versus what Robert Pattinson is doing or Matt Reeves is doing with the Batman. And so, similarities that we saw in each. There's some things that we can agree to like, some things we agree to dislike, but I think when it comes to seeing a comic book jump off the page in live action, besides the Batman that we were talking about previously, I think this Daredevil series is like bar none, like one of the best things I've seen on television when it comes to the telling of a superhero story. So just to start out, we all know it's on Disney Plus right now with the Born Again series. I think they're working on season 2, so season 2 is coming out next year. But for me, I got into it when it first came out on Netflix, and that was one of my favorite things to watch. I think the way they introduced the character, the grittiness, the hardcore fighting, and you also had a hero that took his lumps, man. Like, he wasn't winning every fight. Even though in the end he would win, but man, Daredevil, he gets beat up pretty good. So I think with adding that type of weakness to the character, saying that yeah, he's a superhero, but he can definitely still get hurt. But he's still going out and doing what he does, knowing that at some point in his career, in his crime fighting career, that he could be killed. And so that's a sacrifice he's willing to make sure that other people can live a safe life in the city of Hell's Kitchen. So I really like that. So we're going to start talking about that. We're going to start with Willie, then we're going to go to Dean. Willie, just want to get your thoughts, man. We're going to address the Marvel Born Again series here in a little bit, but just how it started out on Netflix, man. And talk to us about what you liked about the character and just the show in general.
Well, yeah, the TV show was the best. I mean, I was super fan and really shocked me up when I saw the first season. And actually, I wasn't sure about because we have that president of Ben Affleck, and then I have my thoughts, and then I saw this new approach that was super dark. It was more in the style of Batman, right? Like he they create the Hell's Kitchen in a new way, and it was super good. I think it was really close to the comics, and that was super cool too. I love the design of the costume, and yeah, I know the actor was great. I think I don't remember the other one, but it was like an evolution of the character that we don't see so much in superheroes. Well, he's
Mhm.
not a superhero, but and he started like one kind of person, and then you keep watching the next seasons,
Mhm.
and there was a huge change, and I think um, they played it so well. I think it's yeah, it's one of my favorite superheroes TV show and adaptation by far. I
Yeah.
really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, man, for sure, man. Go ahead, Dean. Tell us what you think, man. What do you think about the Netflix show?
I really enjoyed it the first time around. Actually, it was funny when I first was introduced to it. I saw my dad watching the first episode. I didn't even
Mhm.
know it was a thing at the time. And like me and him just kind of sat there for the weekend and like binged most of the episodes that were on there.
Yeah.
And I really like how it was the show really had a good mix of like you seeing Daredevil side with fighting crime at the end or at night and whichever situation he's in. But then you also saw the other side of Matt Murdock, his what do you call it, his identity, his
Mhm.
profession. You saw him instead of fighting with his fists, he's fighting with his words
Right.
and
As
like
a
trying to
lawyer, right?
yeah, making a difference in the world any way that he can, and I really like how they approach that. And I did like how instead of you getting like a whole origin story, you got bits and pieces here with these flashbacks at
Mhm.
real pivotal parts in like the story, and it really kind of just really furthered the plot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, man. I think that's one thing I really liked about the series as well is like they didn't give you the entire story altogether. You know how he gets blinded, but it is when as the episodes progressed, they kept going back and they were showing you more of his past. When he was dealing with other characters, especially like dealing with Elektra. And so you get to see how they met and how that relationship formed. And I think it's for me it's different from movies because what I like about the TV series is that you get a chance to there's time for you
Yeah.
to learn, all of the characteristics of Mac Murdock, not just as Daredevil, but as a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they kind of dive into that, and you're dealing with these cases that he's getting involved in while also trying to be Daredevil, on the side, and how those two worlds kind of collide at some points. I think with the writing they had, they did it very well. Um, I think for me, still, man, out of all the episodes that I've seen, I think 3 seasons on Netflix, and then he was in the Defenders, right? And
Yeah,
and then with the years later we're at the born again stage now. Man, I still think for me like the best scene was that hallway fight scene in the second episode, man.
Oh
that
yeah.
that was the best on so many levels. And for me, I'll start out describing what I really liked about it, and you guys can take it from there. I think for me what I really liked about that scene is number one that he's already going to that fight not at 100%, and I think what stuck out to me is like he knew that, and he knew that these guys already stabbed him, beat him up, left him in a dumpster, or he went to a dumpster to kind of hide, but he was bleeding out, and so he gets fixed up by the nurse and everything, played by Rosario Dawson, amazing actress in the show, and
Yeah.
you know, just to see him after she helps him get better. And he's like, I got to save this kid. I got to save this kid. Despite the fact that he's still injured, the guy still has stab wounds and everything like that. And he still goes to find this kid to save his life. And so I think for me, like that was the reason why it's one of the best episodes to me is because you have a hero that's going into a situation knowing that he might die, but he still is trying to do the right thing in the process. So, and then just the man, just the way that fight scene was filmed, and I remember there's one scene where he goes to a room and he's fighting, and one guy is like, he opens the door and a microwave hits him in the head. So that to me was like, again, like the Daredevil's one of his best abilities is just the echolocation, and even though he's blind, he's able to to sense where everyone is at, and I really like that about the character and the way they used it in that fight in that hallway scene. So go ahead, Willie. What was your how did you feel about that scene, man? And what was what really stood out to you about it?
It it really surprised me about the violence, the level of violence of that the entire show. Right? It's like
Mhm.
it doesn't feel like even punches on to the air. It's like the way he was shot, the entire TV show,
Mhm.
every aspect of the fighting is like a real street fighter, right? It's not just some, I don't know, movie, live action, all this kind of fancy stuff. It's like tough, man, like MCU. I don't know how you call it. That kind of fight, we call it different here probably, but it's
Mhm.
street fight, right? It's street fighters, and that would gives me another perspective about what this story is gonna tell. It's not a classic way to tell a story. It's more visceral, right? It's like
Yeah.
I connect with the character that way. It's like I feel like everyone can kick Charlie Cox's interpretation. Everybody can kick her ass, and
Hmm.
it's gonna get her, like really her, right? We see in many states of Charlie of the Matt Murdock on the TV show, even in Born Again. Like it was so like a broken man all the entire season, and that's what I love about the character. The question that brings to the character. There was a lot of scenes like that, not just that one. And I remember that the most important thing on that scene is the movement of camera, because it's sometimes it was like you can feel the punch, right? It's like, oh my, ouch! It was all the
Yeah.
time, and that was awesome, man. I think I thought I never saw something like that on a TV show, at least in superhero story, right? It was
Mhm.
super real. It makes you feel like, oh my god, this guy is hurting someone, and it's getting hurt too.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here, man. Same here. How about you, Dean? How'd you feel about it, man?
Yeah, I really enjoyed how like you instantly got a sense of just Matt Murdock's like purpose there, especially when he's in the dumpster after he gets saved by Claire.
Hmm.
And after he's somewhat patched up, he's like, no, I gotta go save this kid and everything. And like you said, it's like it's very interesting situation, especially to start off the series with our main character like going into a fight that he knows he probably won't. There's a chance he might not walk away from it, but he doesn't really care. And you really see that just letting the devil out in that scene where he's sluggish, he's throwing these haymakers, he's getting like
Hmm.
these certain kicks in, and tying back to that microwave scene that you were talking about. I think I saw a video where Charlie Cox said that he's at like Comic Con events and certain shit. He's whatchamacallit, he's actually had people walk up with microwaves for him to sign. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's
The
cool.
I love how, especially after he's just kicked this entire room of bad guys into the dirt, he's just knocked them all out, gets the kid, and that's the main priority. He's just comforting the kid, making sure he knows he's fine and everything.
Hmm.
And it's a beautiful scene. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. For me, it's one of those things where like you said, when I was watching it, and then like Willie said, man, I didn't think it was gonna be like like that violent. But if you read the comics, man, I mean, you kind of know what you're in for. but I didn't think it was gonna. I didn't think it was gonna translate that well, because some things between from page of comics to live action, man, some things are very hard to do, especially when it comes to costumes, and dialogue. And I think that the writers they had on and writing the show really knew what they were doing, man. You could tell like there was no wasted dialogue. Everything was said with a purpose. Everything that happened, in that show, there was a lot of consequences to the actions of Daredevil, and not just Daredevil, the other people he dealt with, even Kingpin. Um,
Oh, what character, man!
oh
I love
man, oh
Kingpin.
Oh yeah,
That interpretation from Vince D'Onofrio was wow.
yeah,
peak.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
man. We could probably do a whole show on just Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin alone, man. I mean, like
definitely.
that was just amazing, man.
It
That
was
car door, holy shit, just
and there's some chemistry between them, right? I'm not saying the characters, the actors, Charlie Cox with Vincent D'Onofrio. I feel like there was some kind of chemistry, right? Like
yeah,
you can feel it, yeah, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of you can really tell, man, because just the way they interact with each other, and then like and for me, one thing I like about shows like that is I do like to see like like behind the scenes footage, and
Oh yeah.
seeing just the way they were just like all buddy buddy and chummy with each other, and then you go to watch the show and you're like, man, it's like it's it's hard. I don't want to say it's hard, but it's just an amazing thing to see when you have really good actors that can, they understand their roles. And it's just like once the camera comes on, man, they're just in that role, like nothing else outside of that matters until they hear cut,
Yeah.
And I just, man, just, Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, man. I mean, I don't think they could have picked a better person to
I
play
think
that villain, man.
I think we made a beautiful cast because we had Deborah Ann Wall that is beautiful, and the
Mhm.
character and Foggy. I don't remember the name of
Oh, the
producer.
guy that's playing Foggy Nelson.
Eldon Henson. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I love that character. I
yeah,
love that actor playing Foggy, man. It's like your best friend. You want to
yeah,
say, yeah,
yeah.
He's so lovable.
I don't want to get into Born Again because it was painful. That yeah,
Yeah, man, we gotta touch on that a little bit, man, because I do have some thoughts about that, and I'm pretty sure you guys do. But as far as like the Netflix show, yeah, man. So the hallway fight scene, man, and I really liked that. The we talked about the evolution of characters over time, and I think that with this show, it did a very good job on seeing the evolution of Matt Murdock. Not just as a lawyer, as Daredevil, as Foggy's friend, but also just like the evolution of the costume, and so you see him starting out with I mean, it was like some shit you could have buy on eBay or something like that on Amazon, and he's running around in that. And even
yeah,
when the show started, man, I'm like, man, like, you're thinking like he's fighting people that have guns and he has no armor,
Yeah, bro's got a Nike Tech on.
Yeah, like so, but then when you see him fight, and you kind of understand, like, oh, okay, his heightened senses give him a real advantage, and I think want to correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but like one of the first scenes you really see him in is I think it's when Turk is at the docks and they're trafficking those women,
Oh yeah.
and they're putting him in a shipping container, and so Daredevil shows up, and you see him just like, even though those guys have guns, it didn't even matter, man. He's just like taking them out one by one, and you see a couple of guys shoot at him and they miss, and he's able to dodge and throw things at them, man, even like their own guns, and I was like, man, okay, like just starting to watch. I'm like, man, like I said, like he has no armor, and these guys have guns. Like, what is he gonna do? And then you see it, and you're like, oh, okay. I think they need more than just guns to help them. Like even though there's like 5 or 6 guys with guns and there's one lone guy by himself with no armor, and you're just like, man, I feel sorry for them. They're about to get fucked up, you know. But it's like Willie said, man, it's just that there's that toughness and grittiness to the character, and I really like that. And I think like for a show like that, it's you haven't seen it, like and to
No.
what he was saying as well, like even with the fight scenes, man, it's like he's not. I don't. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of martial arts movies. I'm not saying that. I grew up with them, as I'm pretty sure both you guys have. Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and the plethora of like, all of the types of martial arts movies that have been out for a long time.
Yeah.
But you can see like some of the early stuff was like there was some choreography to it.
Yeah.
You punch here, I'm gonna move this way. I'm gonna dodge this way. So you never really saw them really get tired. That evolved over time, but the majority of them was like it's like almost like a dance.
Yeah.
And with Daredevil on the Netflix show, you saw that man, he gets tired, you know, he gets winded. I mean, even the guys that he's fighting, they get tired too.
Yeah.
And you see like how his fighting changes when he's tired. Like you guys said, he's throwing haymakers, or he's doing these gymnastic moves, and he's grounding and pounding these guys. Like it's so. I think whoever their fight coordinator was, man, or fight choreographer, did an amazing job, because I think that
Yeah.
brings a realism to it that I think was needed for shows like that.
Yeah.
Um, and that's one thing I really liked about it. But that being said, we talked about the hallway fight scene, so we're just like, well, Willie, are there any other scenes in that show, man, that really stuck out to you, or that stood out? I'm sorry.
Um, I think when I don't remember exactly the episode, but I remember one of the first fights the Charlie Cox has with Foggy. It was when it's like they start to separate, and I don't even know if it's season one, but I remember that it feels so real, like a real relationship, right? It's not
Hmm.
like Foggy is not Robin, right? It's not follow Matt
Yeah.
everywhere. It's like, okay, I have my limits. I'm not follow you here, and because what we say about Matt Murdock is he's crossing boundaries all the time. It's like it's
Yeah.
what happened in the entire season. It's like every season that starts is a totally different character and is getting darker. I think it was in season three the scene is the church, right? He returned with probably dead, and there's a kind of relation situation there, and seeing that it was, I remember it was really cool. I'm not a relation person, but I can see the conflict between Matt, and he was raised by with this structure of church. So that was something super cool too. I remember
Mhm.
those two scenes from the first three seasons, let's say, and I think it was really good writing because so for a couple of times, it's like you forget you seen a superhero TV show. It's like a drama, right? It's like
Yeah.
and the other show is like the time that it was not fighting, it was not using power or anything. It's like a little boring. But in this case, it was like, okay, keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something really good.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Dean?
Uh, Honestly, I think my favorite fight scene in that uh the entirety of that show is probably the I think it was season 2, episode 3, after what do you call it? Him and Punisher have that discussion, which also I loved how they
Mm.
introduced Punisher in Daredevil season 2, and then had his own show. But the I loved how after he broke out of the chains and he still had that one chain on his wrist that was, what do you call it, dragging around. There was
Mhm.
a whole biker clan that was coming up, and what do you call it? I love how Daredevil used his surroundings to his advantage in the hallway by, one, taking out the lights and making sure that they're blind, they can't even see him. and just completely disarming them, making sure that, what do you call it? I forget. I think he was trying to get to Frank to make sure he didn't, kill anybody else.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that scene with especially that, what do you call it? That heart, or actually, yeah, shit, that's another scene too. The the graveyard scene after Daredevil helped Punisher out with, or out of the those mobsters.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it was the Irish that had him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Irish, and after that, and they're just, the Punisher's just laying on the little tombstone there, and he's talking about when he came back from the war and how he saw his
Mm,
daughter and everything. I was like, ah, damn. And I love how I saw, apparently, if you look real closely, you can see like where Charlie Cox like shed a tear
mm.
after hearing that. I saw a behind the scenes where he didn't even know that it was a tear because he was actually sweating. So that was,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it was sort of
yeah, because I think they said it was like 4 in the morning, and it was like it's just a hot summer night, so they like he was just sweating in that suit. It was
Mhm.
like their 15th take or whatever. And I forgot John Bernthal said something too. He's like, ah, this asshole's crying in my scene. What the hell?
Yeah, he's beating at acting, man. Can't have that.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a really good scene, man. You're right, man. Oh man,
a lot
there's
of,
was that Willie?
there's a lot of scene, and I forgot that one. I think it was the best, the first time we saw Punisher. There was another scene with Kingpin. He was like when, let's say, Daredevil wins, and he
Mhm.
was like enjoying, I beat you, and
Yeah.
that's it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
The boat broken. They had
Yeah,
no bones, but it was fantastic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that one.
man,
I
that's
remember everything.
you guys are right. That was a really good scene, man. There's so many, man. Yeah, I really think about. Okay, so I saw a fight scene, the hallway scene in the second episode of the first season. Um,
Oh,
I think my close second would have to be. It was still in the first season. It was his fight with. It was Daredevil's fight with Nobu.
oh yeah.
That was brutal, man. Like I
Yeah,
didn't think they were gonna show that much blood. Like I mean,
I was cringing with every slice. I was like, ah,
yeah,
make it stop. Ref, do something.
yeah. Timeout, timeout. Yeah, yeah. Because you're watching it, man. And you're like, and and the thing about that scene is like Daredevil is Daredevil, so he with the training and everything he had in this iteration of the character in this show, he's basically like a ninja, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Trained by stick and everything else. So when you see him fighting, technically another ninja, you're like, oh, this is going to be cool. And so you go, okay, they don't have any armor on, they're just wearing, whatever they have on. But man, like Noble pulls that weapon out, man, and I figured he was going to cut him a few times, but I didn't think they were going to go like that deep, man. Like he really messed him up with that weapon, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's one part of that fight where like he throws it at him and it like wraps around him, and the sickle part of it sticks in his side, and he starts dragging him. Oh man, it's just like just his again. So this is a credit to Charlie Cox's acting, man. Just that
yeah,
just that scream that scream that he had, that it was just cringy. It was cringy, man, for me. Like holy shit, like, how
Oh,
is he gonna survive this, man? Like, he's literally, you're watching, like, he's gonna die, man. He's bleeding everywhere. He's cut up. And what you got? What do you think about that scene, Willie?
yeah, yeah. It was great. It was a lot of time that the man model is so close to die. um, it was entire in every season. It
Yeah.
was the same. Um, I think it was super fast. Uh, how they shot it, right? It's like you miss some hits when you see the movement of the character. It was like one and one right to the another,
Mhm.
and I think it was amazing how they put how they introduced the characters, right? They knew that, like they say, like they did with Chamber Chan with Punisher. Uh, every time there was someone new in town, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think that was the time when I start paying more attention to the development of the character, even the bad ones, the villains,
Hmm.
and yeah, it was amazing scene. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start watching again. Daredevil. I'm nothing to watch now, man. And, well, yeah, I had to start with another one from superhero, but it's like and that TV show games when there was almost no other superhero TV show like
Right.
now. We have millions of different characters. But that was one of the first one. I think one of the most important
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
quality, right?
Yeah, I think that's really, I won't say it's really hard to do, man, but I think for me they hit like kind of lightning in the bottle with that, because it was at the time, like you said, you really haven't seen anything like that on television when it came to telling a superhero story, and just the writing and just the way, and all the actors were amazing, man. I mean, everyone, like, the police, the lawyers, what was the character that Deborah Ann Woll played? I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Karen?
Karen, yeah, Karen Page. Thank you. Yeah, Karen Page, man. Like it's just like, everyone was pulling every scene, man, and like every time they were together, you were watching, and they really made you believe that this was actually something that was going on, and in real life,
Yeah,
man. So you got attached to every single one of the characters, man, and I think for me that was a big thing that I really liked about it, because you have to have a supporting cast that can be on the same level as the main actor, because you just want to be like, okay, yeah, hurry up and finish. I want to get back to Daredevil stuff, right? You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so, like, you really cared about what was going on with those characters, you really did, man. There's
definitely.
not that many shows that I can only speak for me, but there's not that many shows that I've seen that really like made me feel like, oh, okay, man, this storyline with Karen is pretty messed up. I mean, she has this whole corporation trying to kill her to keep this evidence from getting out, and you're like, man, I hope she lives. And so any other show with different types of writers or anything like that, I'll probably be like, yeah, okay, let's get back to the superhero stuff. Um,
Yeah,
but you care about the character, you care about what's going on with her, and I think the way they wove that story into what's going on with Matt Murdock and Foggy, it was very well done, man. So I mean, I liked all three seasons, man. I mean, I can't really say that I have a favorite one. For me, out of those three, I think they're all at the same level, because like you guys said, you get the first season, you get introduced to Daredevil. At the very end of that season, you get the costume, and then in the second season, you still have the same costume. You get an upgraded one, but now you include the Punisher,
yeah,
you include Elektra, and you see more of the hand, which I think with the hand, man, they did a really good job of just like showing you how deadly they were. And and I think like that's another thing I liked about the show, because like Willie said, you have villains that are really good villains, man. Besides Kingpin being the top guy, again, amazing villain, man. Those ninjas, the hand, they were also very formidable, man. I mean, there was a few times they really almost killed Daredevil. you know um,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, man. So Evan the Dean, man. Besides that, so we talked about that Nobu fight. Um, fight scene wise, man, are there any of the fight scenes that you really liked out of the three seasons of that show?
I definitely loved when or well, my jaw was on the floor when Daredevil launched Nobu with his billy club off the roof. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I
yeah,
was like, damn, he done did it.
yeah. Get up from that, right?
Yeah, literally. And I loved that rooftop scene too because especially because I was about to say, correct me if I'm wrong. Elektra before that she had just gotten stabbed, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I loved how what do you call it? He's Daredevil just locks in, and even like when Punisher starts like sniping some of the like or some of the what do you call it? The or foot soldiers.
Mhm.
Daredevil doesn't even like he looks back, he doesn't even care that he killed him. Like normally he would give him shit any other day, but he was like, I don't care. I got a job to do.
Yeah,
And then after he sends Nobu off the rooftop, I love the little detail that it wasn't prevalent to me when I first watched it, but after a rewatch, I love how Frank actually whisper like he just spoke in his normal voice, like "See you around, Red," because he knew with Daredevil's super hearing that he'd hear it.
oh yeah,
So I love that little detail there. It's like, all right, he didn't just say that to just say that.
yeah. That's a good point, man. That's a very good point. Wow. Yeah. Man, yeah. Wow. What about you, Willie? Any other fight scenes? As far not in any dialogue, because there's a bunch of dialogue scenes, man, in this show that I love, man. And we could probably,
Yeah,
3 or 4 different instances on the dialogue alone, man.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I think the fight scene was super. Every important fight scene was amazing. Like I said before, the one with Kingpin, I think the last one before
Mhm.
I think it's season 3, right? Um, it was my favorite, and yeah. I, I think there's a lot of scenes more emotional that give it that balance, right? In the TV show, so you can when Matt Murdock get hurt, and even with relationships or with the friendship with Foggy, is that scenes, emotional scenes, give it that level of
Mhm.
engaging. When you saw when you saw Matt suffering, it's like it's different because you feel like a human, right? Because
Mhm.
for the other part of the scene, it's not like a cold man like the Punisher. Like even he looks like he has no feeling, at least on the TV show, right?
Mhm.
Then we develop the character, and you see all this dark past that he had. But with Daredevil, it's like, at least for me, probably this is because Charlie Cox have that talent to bring you to make you feel sorry for him, and it's something that is part of the performance, right? So
Right.
I really enjoy because when the things go bad, it's like you're suffering with him, right?
Yeah.
So every fight scene, I think it was great because, like we said before, like you said, it's like a dancing, man. It's super coordinated. I don't know who is the coach there, but it was something that I never see on TV show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I would love to see a Batman TV show like that, man.
Oh man.
With
Yeah.
that
Oh, I'm about to
commitment,
say you might get that with Spider-Man Noir, I think, next year.
yeah, something like that. I think Matt Reeves takes a little things of that TV show, because if there's some equal stuff or there's similarities between that character that we talked last week, the Batman, with
Mhm.
that this Daredevil. I think there's a connection, there's an influence in Matt Reeves movies, because in both cases the fighting is like you feeling the punch, and every time they would hurt. So I think I think Daredevil was influenced Matt Reeves in this new adaptation of the Batman. I think that's probably what happened. Yeah. I don't remember every scene, but I remember that one with Kingpin.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's true. I like man, it's we gotta dive into this, man. So we talked about Daredevil, and we still have our still a bunch of stuff to talk about. We could probably talk about this for 4 hours, man, but I don't keep you guys too long. But yeah, speaking on the show, man, just man, there's just so much stuff to cover. Kingpin, man, like I might. So when we talk about fight scenes, man, I gotta mention this one because I know like when people watch this, they're gonna be like, "Hey, you guys didn't talk about this." The car door scene, man.
Woo!
He kills that guy with the car door.
Oh man.
Man, I was again like for a show, for a superhero show on Netflix, I was not expecting that, man. And I think, he's in the first season, yeah, Kingpin is a big guy, right? But he's not like super big like he is in the comics, right? You will probably it'd be really weird to see that on screen,
Yeah.
But Vince D'Onofrio, man, he pulled it off so well, man. It was like you can understand like how this guy could like beat Daredevil, when you see him fighting. He's like this big kid, man, that just goes on like this,
He's a psycho, right?
he's a psycho, man,
Yeah.
but he fights like an angry child, you know what I mean? And he's, for his size, he's super strong, right? And I remember watching that scene, man, and dude, I felt so bad for that guy because before he put his head in the door, when he was just beating him up, and I don't know, I don't speak Russian, and I never looked up to see what he was actually saying, but there's something that the guy says when he's kind of like pleading towards Kingpin's, right hand man.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name right now. Maybe you guys can help me out with that.
No. That no.
I can't remember his name, man. It's been a while since I
I
watched.
forget.
Yeah.
But there's something that the guy says to him, man. He's pleading to him in Russian, man. And I'm just like, man, I'm like, dude, just tell Kingpin to stop, man, because this guy really sounds like he's hurt. And and he just looks at him like, oh well, you want to talk to him, it is what it is. And he sticks his head in the door, man, and just continues. So he starts to slam that door. And again, with this, when you're looking at a show like that, man, and again, besides the actors, man, you have to give credit to the writers, the showrunner, and people in the sound, man, stage design, set design, like Willie's talking about. Like you have to build an atmosphere, and the atmosphere they built up for that show was just amazing. And so, just the sounds of the door crunching the guy's head, before he finally decapitates him, man, that was rough, man. That was rough to watch. I know they're criminals and everything like that. And I still felt bad. I still felt bad for the guy, man. That was a horrible way to die, man. That was horrible. But for me, like when it comes to fight scenes, like that one, really stuck out to me, showing how brutal this Kingpin was. And I think Vince D'Onofrio did an amazing job of showing you that, yeah, man, this guy is he, like Willie said, he's crazy, he's psycho, but he's a formidable villain. And I think, there's so many aspects of certain villains. You have some villains that are just bad, just to be bad, I just want to kill, destroy, whatever, because it's fun, right? But to see a character in the villain where you have that, he believes he's right, even though he's doing all of this messed up stuff, So it's like he's sitting right there in the middle, where like, well, to get what I want, I got to do all this bad stuff to all these people. I don't really care about that because I know I have to do this, but I do really care about this city as well. And so you're like, man, this guy is, he's psycho, he's sacrificing innocent lives, but in his head, like, I think he really does believe that he loves the city and he's doing it to better the city. And so, with a character like that, it makes that character very complex, right? And you hate him for what he's doing, but he's playing a part so well. You're like, man, this dude really believes that he's doing the right thing and everyone else is wrong. And so I think with his, interpretation of this Kingpin is what really made him stand out among all the other villains they've had in the show, man. And I think that's a credit to D'Onofrio's acting. And I ask Willie, how do you feel about Vincent D'Onofrio's version of Kingpin, and what were your favorite characteristics that he showed with the character?
I mean, it's beside Matt Murdock, is the best one. I think the TV show wasn't the same without him, with the character and with the actor, because they had something about their eyes, about how we talk to you on the camera. That it's like it's hard to explain, because it's like he hates human, but he loves the city, right? And I'm not sure it's something about he loved the city. I think sometimes it's an excuse to get that beast him out, because
Yeah.
I think the most what always hooked me from this character is his relationship with his wife, right?
Oh yeah.
We had another side of the same character, another side of the coin, right? And more vulnerable, more human, even if you want. But what I love from this character is some living is like, he tell you how a city works, and not idolize it, right? He not build this kind of nice version of the world. It's like tell you the horrible truth in your face. Is they tell you what you have to do to get what you want, and how you can, it's like, he wants to change things, but in his own way, and he know what he have to do. He's actually he's right about a couple of things. I'm not agree with that mentality, but sometimes it's better that one guy is in charge of the crime and not many,
Yeah.
because more people get hurt when they was. It happened in real life when I don't know, drug dealer, a leader, all right,
The
get
power vacuum.
yeah, get in jail, and things get worse before that, like Escobar or something like that. People talking about how that was the time when Escobar was in charge of Colombia, right? When Colombia
All right.
cartel. But then when he was gone, and after he dies, things getting so much worse in Colombia. It's not like a movie. They say, okay, this guy is out, everything is good now, and everyone is happy. The crime continues, and I think Wilson Fix know that if he's not in charge of the city of the crime, things are getting worse. Which
Yeah.
at some level he's right too, man.
Yeah.
If you think in a different way,
Yeah.
in a real way to see the world and more cruel way to see the world, he's right.
Yeah. Yeah, he was right, man. You saw the power vacuum, like Dean said. After he went to jail, and you saw I think it was what you had the Kitchen Irish, you had the biker gang, right? And there was one other gang that was there. Oh man, it's been a while since I watched it.
It wasn't like a Yakuza's, was it?
What's that?
It wasn't like a Yakuza gang or something like that, or
No, it was a biker gang. It was the Kitchen Irish, and there was one other group. They were vying for power because they got involved in when the Punisher's family got killed. I can't remember.
oh
No, I don't remember. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it's like I said,
yeah.
it's time. It's time to rewatch. You got to rewatch it, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it for sure, man. But I watched it when it came out, so like, I don't know, 6 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can
yeah, it's been a while, man.
2015, I think there was the first season. So
yeah. What about you, Dean, man? When it comes to Kingpin, man, like what was your favorite thing you really enjoyed about the character, and like And name a couple of your favorite scenes with that character.
I think favorite part of Vincent D'Onofrio's portray of Kingpin. Let us say no shade to the what do you call it, the 2000, what was it, 2004 Daredevil Kingpin with Ben
Oh,
Affleck.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, like I love that one. Don't get me wrong. It's
Right.
just unlike that one, Vincent D'Onofrio actually shows you, like Willie was saying, with I love the I don't know what you call it, subplot of him and Vanessa's relationship slowly
Hmm.
forming over time, especially with him visiting the art gallery and just constantly like, no, I don't need any help, and just he's only there for her.
Yeah.
but but I loved. I also really liked how you almost got this like American Psycho routine with him with the omelet in the morning,
Hmm.
with the music and him getting on like the certain suit and all the other things that he does in his routine. And I love how they expanded upon that when Vanessa came into the picture, because then you saw he made a second plate. She was helping him get dressed.
Yeah.
You saw this nice soft side of Kingpin that you almost wanna that you almost kinda relate to in a way,
Hmm.
that you kinda wanna root for, but you're like, "Ah, no, no, that's the main
Yeah.
villain, I can't." But
Yeah.
I love how he portrayed the character. It was, you saw his vulnerable side, you saw the side that you could really that you can understand where he's coming from, especially with his backstory with, I really like how they painted that up with because I was wondering the first time that I saw him, like, staring at the wall, when he woke up, I was like, what's that with, or what's up with that?" And
Hmm.
then when I got to it, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow, okay."
Yeah. Yeah. It's just amazing character work, man. I think, he's one of the standouts in that show, man, or if not the standouts, because again, Charlie Cox did an amazing job, man. And Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, I think they're still, for me, when it comes to like, a television show based on a superhero comic, they're at the top, man. They're at the top.
Yeah,
I think it's I think, and I'm not saying there's not any other actors that could like maybe portray a Marvel or DC villain or hero that could be just as good, but right now, as of right now, they're still top for me, man. They're still top for me. And it's just the way, even just the way Kingpin talked, man. Just that low monotone voice, and it's I saw something a while ago where I think he was explaining how he came up with the voice and everything like that, and at first, like, going through the process, like, man, that's, it's gonna sound kind of stupid, and then we actually see it in the show, you're like, oh man, it really fits the character, like
yeah,
he sounds like a villain, but he sounds like a person that's like can turn on a switch like that and just have no empathy for anyone. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I think that's what I really liked about him. Like what you were saying, you see this side of him when he's with Vanessa, and you see this gentle side, man. So you can see he's capable of having normal feelings, you know,
yeah,
but everything else outside of that is just a means to an end. For him to like, this is my goal. This is how I accomplish this. You know, and then, like you said, when Vanessa comes along, it's like she becomes part of that plan. So I want this for myself, for the city, but also for her. So he's really ready to do what he has to do with the rest of the city, including ruining the lives of innocent people, to make sure that Vanessa's happy. And so again, like with that type of villain, you're like, man, you're not talking him out of what he wants to do. You know what I mean? You can't sit down with
yeah.
Kingpin and be like, hey man, I really don't think you should do that, because people are gonna die. He's like, well, I don't care. Vanessa's got to be happy. Yeah.
I could listen to an entire audiobook with that voice, man.
Oh, I just came here
Perfect.
reading stuff.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it you say? Happy wife, happy life, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Vanessa.
it
Yeah.
really
Also,
is, man.
that character is fantastic too. I mean, Vanessa brings something super nice and intrigued to the TV show because it's like I don't know. Even the actress, man, it was fantastic for that role. It's like this kind of dysfunction relationship with his husband, and even it gets worse in Born Again, right? With this guy captured, it was like
Oh yeah.
what a horrible marriage is this, but worse in this way, right? It
Yeah,
was like what the hell is going on with these two? But
yeah,
it's it's based on something real because uh, you can be keeping wife without be that, like that, man. Because there's no way to be married with this guy being a saint, right? You have to be understand your husband and respect their decision. And sometimes they were not like connect together, but on the profound level, they were made for each other, right?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I think when you see that, man, it's like again in their relationship is really something that and I think that's a hard thing to I won't say a hard thing, but you haven't seen it a lot, man, where you see a couple in the show and you really believe that they are really in it for each other. That was one of the few, man, because she's an art dealer, right? So she's selling paintings and things like that. But when she doesn't know anything about his world of crime. But when he pulls her into it, you can see her start to evolve as a character where she's like, oh, I kind of like this. Okay, I like that he's into this. He's dangerous, but at the same time he wants me to have the best of everything. So you see her kind of get pulled into it and start to uh, change her outlook on life, and it fits more of what he wants, but he wants them to accomplish things together. And so when he's like, yeah, I want to do this, he's like, I think there's a scene where he's explaining to her like, oh yeah, you know I cause those explosions, but out of these explosions, even though people are going to die, like it'll help me build a new city where everyone can be safe, right? And so, you're like, you just told someone that you blew up all these people for this reason. And a normal reaction would be like, dude, you're crazy. What the hell wrong with you? But you see her like she's kind of like, okay, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? And so you have a villain technically, forming and molding another would-be villain. And that's in a show like that, that's something that you don't see very often. You know what I mean? Um, so I really like that about their relationship. When it comes to the other aspects of the show, again, for me, the when you talk about the aspect of him getting another suit, uh, I like how they played that out. Where you find out Kingpin has his armor underneath his suits, and then after Daredevil finds out, oh, okay, he's got this armor plating or whatever, he finds out the guy that's making it, and he goes to him and says, hey, I need you to make me a suit. If you make the suit for me, I'll protect you and your girlfriend from Kingpin, right? Kingpin is basically telling this guy, hey, make me these suits or else, your little
Yeah.
girlfriend's going to go away. So I like that, man, because and with Disney Plus and what they try to do with the, I think it was a She-Hulk with the guy that like makes suits for heroes and stuff like that. It was kind of stupid to me, but
Yeah.
it didn't fit Daredevil, but in the original show, what they had going on with the guy that made Daredevil's in costume, it really fit well into the narrative of what they were pushing, which is, hey man, Kingpin is manipulating you know, bribing and basically terrorizing everyone to get stuff done. And so now Daredevil has to make this guy believe that, hey man, if you do this for me, I'll be able to protect you and your girlfriend from this guy, right? Um, and so that adds to his character, you know, because it's like Matt's putting all this stuff on himself, you know, with no help, and you're like, man, like you're overdoing it. You can only do so much. You're one guy, you know. There's only so much you can do within the city. Like you can't beat everybody, right?
Yeah.
Um, but you see Matt willing to take that on and make that sacrifice, you know, regardless of everything else. And so, yeah, you know, that's another thing I really dug about the character and just the transformation. You know, I think the transformation and the evolution of the show also fit the evolution of the character when it gets to the point when he finally gets his suit. And now you're like, oh, you know, they had the reveal and you see him in the outfit and you're like, yes, it's good. You know, there's a big payoff to it. So I really like that about the show. As far as villains are concerned, you know, I have to bring this guy up. Uh, season 3, Bullseye, man. Buddy,
Oh yeah.
what did you got? What is? I start with Dean on this. What did you got? What did you think about Bullseye?
Holy crap, he was a menace, man. It was especially with that the office scene where
Oh yeah,
with the cubicles. Holy crap. I was just like, all right, Matt, what are you gonna do here? And then it's just like every corner, something else is getting thrown at his head,
yeah.
getting ricocheted off here and there. It's like, all right, man, what are we doing here? And I really liked his character, especially when you got like a little bit of his backstory with the I forget which who he's talking to in the scene, but it's uh it's basically talking about his mental state and like after, after multiple incidents or whatever, like mental traumas, like it'll and he's like, or he like cuts him off, he's like, I'll go postal, like, or something like that. And you see that develop even further into Born Again with certain instances there, but I really
Mhm.
did like how just unhinged Bullseye was, and it wasn't as like goofy as the 2004 Bullseye. I personally didn't really like him.
You didn't
I
like
don't know.
Colin Farrell's Bullseye, man?
Nothing against Colin Farrell. He was just a little too goofy for me, especially
Yeah.
with the tattoo. Like it, I don't know. It was kind of corny to me almost, but I really did enjoy. I don't. I'm not. I forget the actor's name for the Daredevil season 3 and Born Again, but he played Bullseye really well. I enjoyed him.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Willie?
I think it brings something super new and fresh to the TV show at that point. Um, I think yeah, it was a really good interpretation from the actor, and yeah, it was that level of madness that the TV show needs, right?
Yeah.
That point, and it is like like we said before. Every new character that brings to the TV show brings something new that he was that's why it was one of my favorite TV show because it's when someone is came into the show, it's like you want to learn more, you want to know the past of these characters, how they get there, and I think it was besides Kingpin, it was one of the best villains
Hmm.
at that point in the TV show. I think it was super good. Yeah. I love that character.
Yeah, yeah. I as a villain, man, he was amazing. And you know, after season 2, when you know, you're leaving the Punisher stuff behind, right? At least for the Daredevil show, and you're
Yeah,
like, man, I don't know how, you know, what they're gonna do next. And then you get into, you know, Defenders, bringing in, you know, the rest of the Netflix, you know, uh, Marvel heroes, right? And you know, which I did like, you know,
yeah. I love it. I think Jessica Jones and
Yeah,
Luke Cage and all that. Yeah, yeah. I think it was fit perfect with the Daredevil universe. It's like all live in the same reality. It's not like something super weird or something like that. It's like you can believe that everyone belongs to the same place. And the other one it was Iron Fist, right? Yeah, I think I saw all the TV shows and the
yeah,
Yeah,
Defenders. Great. I love how Daredevil it was like Batman and it's just a league, right? It's like this
yeah, yeah.
that element different.
I did like how throughout the Netflix shows they also, I forget, it wasn't, they said that they didn't want to like directly tie the Netflix shows with the like MCU at the time,
Mm.
but there was certain things like I think you could catch it in more so in Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, like the incident they call it, which is just referring to the 2012 Avengers movie.
Oh yeah, the invasion.
Yeah, and then even in Luke Cage too with the Judas bullets, like what they're made from the Jatari or whatever. I
Hmm.
like how they somewhat tried to tie it in and make it like a connected universe, which I'm always there. I'm always here for that. I always love a connected universe throughout movies and like TV shows.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I really like that addition that they had with that. It still references some of the old stuff from the movies. Without showing too much. But yeah, back to like what you guys were talking about with Bullseye, man. Yeah, great villain, man. Just like the scenes he was in, and I think it was just like, again with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, man, just this big fu to Daredevil to like, hey, man, I'm gonna have this guy wear your suit. You know what I mean? He's gonna go around act like he's you killing all these people, and you're gonna get blamed for it. So there's still that like, you he's still holding grudges, man. Like you sent me to jail. I never forgot about that. I'm going to destroy, everything about you and the people you love and everything. So, and again, man, having Kingpin still be the top villain, but with these little underling villains as well, I think it was very well done because you still have, Kingpin now egging on Bullseye. And I think there's one thing uh, I really liked about the Bullseye character. There's a scene in there where they're talking about like given his mental, given his mental capacity, like you said, the trauma and everything he went through as a kid. He's looking for someone to be like a North Star for him.
Yeah.
This guiding light, right? And so in his mind, it was the woman he was interested in, even though she wasn't interested in him at all. And I remember
Oh
when
yeah.
he's like talking to the psychiatrist, and she's like, "Oh, so what's going on?" And you know, who do you talk to? About your stuff that's like your work and like what's bothering you. He's like, "Oh, I have this girlfriend, and we're talking, and we meet for pizza, every day on this day." And then they show the scene. You actually see him. He's stalking this woman, and he just sitting in the car, eating the same pizza that she's eating. Just like something's wrong with this dude, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, man, but you see, like, he's looking for that person. Like, I need to attach myself to this person to kind of be my guiding light. And so, Kingpin goes out of his way to discredit this woman as being that for Bullseye so that he can do it. And man, just again, like Willie said, adding just to the way Kingpin operated, man. It's like manipulation after manipulation, man. Like anything to meet his end goals. And and now you have Kingpin pulling strings of Bullseye in the Daredevil costume, getting to do all this stuff. And man, just his hands in the FBI, and it is just like, man, this guy has everything planned out, and then every season that involves him, you always see him. He may lose, but when he comes back with a vengeance, and he's always 5-6 steps ahead of everyone else, man. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I really liked about the character. You get to season 3, like, oh man, he's in custody of the FBI, he's not going to do anything else. And you find, oh yeah, he's got the FBI paid off too. No big deal. So I like that, man. And again, with the addition of Bullseye, man, again, another damaged, mentally damaged character, and seeing how he manipulated it's again, man, very good writing. And just like Willie was talking about, because I heard him mention it a couple times, so I wanted to talk about it. That last fight scene, man, with all three of them, man, that was just really good, man. That's like I remember watching it, and I was just ingrained in the TV, man, just like watching this whole fight play out, and it's like it's a very good a great finale, because after everything that was said and done, man, after all the people that Kingpin has killed, again, with the help of the FBI and with Bullseye, to finally have all of them come together with this, this final battle is like the resolution to all this stuff, man. It was just an amazing thing to watch, man. Kingpin pissed at Bullseye for ruining his wedding to Jesus, I'm forgetting her name again. Kingpin's wife, what's her name?
Vanessa.
Vanessa, yeah. How can I forget? Jesus, Vanessa, yeah. And so like he's fighting him, Daredevil's fighting the both of them. Like it was just amazing, man. So with that scene, like when you talk about the way they engage with each other, like Willie, like how did you feel about that fight scene, man, with just all three of them? Because I know you kept mentioning, man, so I definitely want to get your thoughts on it, man. Because again, like as fight scenes go, it's in for the show, it's in my top 5, man.
Yeah, it's in the top for me too. It's like we were waiting while we were waiting in the 3 season, right? It's like a kind of five last fight, and I thought one of two is gonna die. I thought it was be Daredevil finally kill Kingpin. That was what I thought when the thing started going wrong, but I think it was worse for Kingpin be lose that fight. Even I think he was prefer to die than lose that fight with Daredevil, right?
Yeah,
because it hurt in another level. That kind of personality, right? Kingpin is the only one who can talk that way. But I think it was like a crucial moment for the 2 shows. Like, okay, that this finally happened, and sometimes it was like you want to punch in the face the Kingpin, man. Sometimes it's like, but if you take a step back, there was a cycle of violence there, right, between those characters, because no one can stop between them. They will just kill each other, and that was for both, not just for Kingpin.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If you want to talk about mental illness, I think Daredevil needs a shrink for sure, man. There's a couple of things to analyze there. But yeah, it was I think it was like we said before, the final battle of our resolution. I think it was, and they resolved the thing the only way both can, with violence, because in some levels both are equal, not in everything, but sometimes the devil is not a saint, right? He hurt people, so it's something interesting there.
Yeah. I think one of the things I like about it too, man, is like you said, you after like you've seen like the season of Bullseye just throwing stuff at Daredevil and hitting him and everything is kind of nice to like now Daredevil's like, all right, I can block all this stuff now. You know what I mean? That was really cool, to see him like, Bullseye throwing stuff at him. And also in the same scenario, like Bullseye is trying to kill Vanessa to, get revenge, right? And so Daredevil is not only fighting Kingpin, right, and Bullseye, and he's also protecting Vanessa at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like when you talk about like a guy that's a hero, man. Like, I mean, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, especially after everything that she's done, because now she's so ingrained in the crime with Kingpin, she's just as responsible for what's going on as he is. But again, that's to the credit of Daredevil, man. It's like he has his core beliefs. His Catholic belief that all life is sacred, and no one should be killed. So it's like Willie said, like, yeah, man, like, I know you believe that, but he goes into this fight wanting to kill Kingpin, right? That's the reason why he got there. He's like, this has got to end. I'm willing to make that. I'm willing to sacrifice my place in heaven according to my religion, so that this guy can't hurt any other people. You know what I mean? And so I like that about that entire fight scene, man. It's amazing. How do you feel about it, Dean?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. From just the overall like free for all aspect between the
Mhm.
three of them, and how like the fight didn't lean too heavily on just two individuals fighting, like it just being Daredevil and Kingpin. I like how it kind of bounced in between, like, what do you call it? When Daredevil or when Bullseye was trying to throw stuff at Vanessa and like Daredevil's blocking it, and then Kingpin comes into the shot, hits Bullseye, and then out of nowhere Daredevil comes out of nowhere, hits Kingpin. It's just a whole it's a whole back and forth scenario.
Right.
And I even loved it when when Kingpin broke what do you call it, Bullseye's back on
Oh
the
man.
brick wall. Oh,
Ouch.
that was that yeah, that hurt. But I also liked it, like, to call back to what you were saying with how it how actually both of you were saying with how the fight kind of conflicted with Daredevil's overall moral code, and how he going into that fight, he wanted to kill him, but he knows that he can't, like, he just can't do that. But it's that want, and I like how it's a nice kind of callback to, I believe it was, I want to say season one, where they were in the church, and Matt's talking to the priest, and I
Yeah.
believe the priest says something along the lines of like, uh, "Are you, what do you call it? Are you wanting to or do you want to kill this man because you have to, or are you searching for a reason because you don't want to?"
Mhm.
Yeah. Good.
And I like how after even when Matt's got him right there, he just has to, just a couple 10 more haymakers, he's got him. He can kill him. Just he refuses not to because he know what do you call it? He's being the better man. He's being a good man,
Yeah.
and knowing that being or sending Kingpin back to prison is more embarrassing than if he were to kill him, because then Kingpin would basically make a spectacle out of Daredevil killing him,
That's a good point. Yeah.
and that would bring a whole that would open a whole can of worms right there.
Yeah. And you don't get the and a good point about that is too, like you're saying, you don't get that amazing dialogue, man, of the I beat you. You don't get that whole thing, man. And
Yeah, that was the
Seriously.
best.
yeah, I think, like, when it comes to dialogue, man, like Willie was saying earlier, man, that's why I said when he was touching on it earlier, man, I'm like, man, we got to get to that, talk about it. That's one of, as far as like the overall dialogue of everything, of all the seasons of the show, I think that's in the top for me. Again, I think for me, it's right below that that first interaction you had between Daredevil and Punisher. Not at the grave site, but before that, when on the roof,
Oh yeah.
talking to each other, and the Punisher
I love
talking. Yeah. Oh man, that's just John Berthal as a Punisher, man. That scene just amazing, man. Talking to Matt, you're half measure. I put them down, they stay down. And I'm like, that's like, wow, and you're like, yeah. After all the thing that's happening, because you've seen what's going on with Kingpin, what he's doing, what he did with the city, and he's in prison and everything like that, and you're like looking at the Punisher, you're listening to him, you're like, yeah, I mean, you got a point, man. Like, yeah, he puts him in jail, he hurts him, but they do eventually get out to do the same thing again. I mean,
Yeah,
a few people, I think that that one Russian guy that Daredevil was kind of torturing with Claire, and he threw him off the building, that dumpster. I mean, they said
Oh
he was
my
in a
God.
coma, right? So he wasn't waking up, man. So
Yeah.
he's not dead. He just
Hey man, it goes back to that Batman and Daredevil. They leave you with negative 20 HP.
yeah, yeah. You won't be dead, but you'll be hurting for a while, man.
You'll definitely remember that interaction.
Yeah, yeah. But just
Or
like
maybe not.
that's you won't remember anything, right? But yeah, that was that's my favorite piece of dialogue of that show, really. And so in the end, when you have that, when he's talking to Kingpin about, if you mess with Foggy Nelson or Karen Page, I'll make sure your wife goes to jail. And I'm like, wow, man, he does it. And this is one thing about it that I really loved about that scene, and maybe Willie might feel the same way. Maybe you, Dean, is that at this point he knows. Kingpin obviously knows who he is, but it's like just the extra. How can I say that? The nail in the coffin, man. Of like when he's talking to him about sending his wife to jail, he messes with Karen or Foggy, and he pulls his mask up. Letting him know, like, hey, man, this isn't Daredevil talking to you. This is Matt Murdock. Like, if you mess with them, this is what's going to happen. Like, I'm daring you to mess with my friends type of thing, And that was really powerful, man. And, I think it added, like, man, like, you see everything that he's going through in this season, with the injuries and not being at 100%. And I think people tend to forget that in season 3, man, after what happened in Defenders, he's not at 100%. I think for most of part of season 3, Matt is not at 100%. Because he's recovering from the broken back and everything, and his senses are messed up, so he's not flipping around as much as he used to because he has that back injury, right?
Yeah.
So again, being injured and still dealing with all this stuff, man, I think it's still a testament to the character, man. Like, it's a hero, man. Like you guys said before, going into battle, at maybe 50%, 60% against these people that are clearly like, Bullseye was an amazing villain, man, and still being able to fight that guy, and at most times to a standstill, or at least enough time to get away and everything like that. It's like, wow, man. Like I like this. I like this show. It made me like the Daredevil character even more, because for me, like when it came to the comics, I am a big Batman fan, and so like for me, it's like Batman, Spider-Man, Superman's like a third for me, and then it was kind of like Daredevil, right? But then seeing the show is like, it's kind of a reinvigoration of the character. So now you're like, oh man, now I got to go and get some Daredevil comics and read on what's going on with him,
yeah,
and that's what I ended up doing. I bought a bunch of Daredevil comics after that show came out, man. And I was like, and it just made me like the character even more, seeing his storylines and how gritty and tough they were. But just in the show, man, just like I said, just pulling up the mask and letting Kingpin know that, hey, this is Matt Murdock talking to you. Leave my friends alone, or else. That was really powerful, man. And Kingpin has no choice but just kind of concede and, I failed you, Vanessa. I'm sorry. So it was really cool, man. I like that. Yeah. I asked Willie about the scene already, I think, right? And then so yeah, I know you had your thoughts on it as well.
Oh, on I forget
Just the end fight
the
with all three of them and everything. I think you did, right?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, and the broken back too, man. It was something. Yeah, I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. So we got to briefly.
Remember, yeah.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I remember people were theorizing with that end scene where Bullseye got like the new spine. People
Mhm.
were like, "Oh, is this gonna be an introduction to adamantium?"
Oh yeah,
or something like that because they didn't specify it was like a special material that like the spine was made out of or something.
yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that sucked for me was that they had so much time in between the Netflix stuff and then we get to Marvel Born again. So we'll touch on that real quick. We'll probably have to do another show to kind of completely touch on that entire series. There's a lot of things I liked about it, but a lot of things I kind of disliked about it. But with the Marvel Born Again, like let's do a comparison. So with Marvel, with the new series of Daredevil on Disney now, Born Again compared to the Netflix show, like how do you feel about that? And which one do you think is better? I will start with you, Willie.
No, I think the Netflix is better. I
Yeah.
I like the new one, but it's not that fresh how the original was. I mean,
Mhm.
I think they did a great job. It's like they keep the same vibe, the same style, and I really enjoyed that Vision Born again. I think it was a really nice comeback, and I think there's a couple of new stuff that makes you think, about those characters, like Kingpin becoming politician and being in charge of the city in the right way. Let's
Yeah.
say for that for now, and
Encouraging, Gallows, encouraging.
yeah, I think in this season it was more focused on keeping the Daredevil. I think
Mhm.
I don't see that level of change in Daredevil as we saw on the Netflix TV show, but we saw some difference and in some evolution in Kingpin,
Mhm.
and also this new. I have we have to wait to the second season, right? But the new Born Again. Foggy is not anymore, so it was a super important character for the story. And Deborah is like, what is the name of Deborah?
Oh, Karen Page.
Karen. Um, he was almost not there. He just show up some parts now, and it was like, it, I really like it, but it's not the same because it's not like every character get involved in the story that much. So we had new character like this girlfriend from Matt, it was nice. It was not touched, but it feels like we lose some important characters, right? Like I need more power on those side. It's
Yeah.
like okay, between Kingpin and Matt, but there was nothing in between, right?
Yeah.
But it was great. The last episode was amazing, and
Yeah.
I think it was okay. I think it was going in the same level, but they miss a couple of things in the trans and the changing, and it was a lot of time between, like you say, from Netflix to Disney. It was not a year. It was, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years. Things getting cold. That's why I thought I need to rewatch the first three seasons because there was a lot of things that I missed because I don't have the TV fresh now in my brain. Right?
Right.
Yeah, it
Right.
was. It was actually I work with on a comic book that I'm about to finish now. These days, the editor from that comic book was Cathy Blair. He was the writer of Born Again, the screenwriter. He was like he managed the team of writer,
Oh,
and we talked about a couple of times on mails, and I made a phone call with her and most and the writer of this comic book.
Mm.
And I remember was the first episode came out, and I had this meeting with her, and I asked it everything. Can you tell me what is going on next episode? And he's no, sorry, I can't. Not,
Come on, man, just tell me.
yeah,
Yeah, right. I
no,
won't tell anybody. Let me know.
yeah. She was a great show on that TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. How'd you feel about it, Dean?
Yeah, I really enjoyed well, actually, I gotta say, the tying back to what Willie was saying about losing characters,
Mm.
lost Foggy in like the first 15 minutes. That
Yeah.
that
Shit, that
threw me off so far. But yeah, I will say I gotta agree with Willie again. It's definitely like the original Netflix show for me, the first 3 seasons.
Mm.
Um, but I will say I feel like it might be a little too early to tell for Born Again because there was a lot of really good parts in it, but I feel like the thing that really kind of dragged the entire project down was the fact that they they did have a few episodes that they reworked, like reshot.
Right.
So it kind of felt a little all over the place with some of the plots. I really did enjoy that like bank heist episode.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
That was good.
I did not expect it, or I didn't expect to like that as much as I did.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, and then especially because I'm really excited for season 2 and season 3 because or the fact that it got greenlit for a season 3 already and season 2 isn't even out,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that I believe it's now the original like Daredevil show writers from the Netflix series that
Yes.
are working on it.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to see where they're gonna go with that, and
Yeah.
especially with like Willie was saying, the last episode was amazing. I was just awe inspired. I was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
And then even the next day, I was even more surprised because people picked up on when Daredevil said at the end, like, "We need an army." People picked up on like there's a certain note that you can hear that's actually from the like Tom Holland Spider-Man theme.
yeah,
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. I wonder what's happening." And then we got news that uh, what is it? Kristen Ritter's coming back as Jessica Jones. I'm
Yes.
really excited to see her again.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that that now opens the possibility for, Luke Cage,
Mm.
Iron Fist to come back. Who knows? We might even get a Moon Knight. We might get a whole Defenders crew.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, man. I think for me, like you guys said, and I think Willie and I had talked about this before, but with this, again, like for me, like the Netflix show was a lot better to me. Um,
yeah,
and I really wish it didn't have that much of a gap between the two, but I know there was, contract things, and they were transferring the ownership of the characters from Netflix to Marvel. So I mean, I get all that, man, but I really wish they had time to kind of there wasn't that much time between the two shows. But given what we got, I mean, I like Born Again, not as much as Netflix show, but there are quite a few things I do like about it, and it's just the again, we talk about the evolution of the characters, and I love the fight scenes and everything like that, but I think for me, like one of my favorite scenes in the show, I can't remember if I think it's the first or second episode, I can't remember which one, where you actually have you know uh Matt and Kingpin are sitting at that table in the diner.
Oh
And,
yeah.
they're just talking, man. They're just talking like, yeah, yeah, remember that time I tried to kill you, and ha ha ha. They're just like, it's like two old men, just like talking to each other.
yeah,
And yeah, he's like, oh, well, I tried to take on the protege, and oh, I heard she shot you in the eye. Like, yeah, kids, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like it was funny just seeing all the stuff that they've done to each other previously, for them to come together and be like, hey, man, this is where I stand. I know where you stand at. Don't get in my way. Don't get in my way, or this is going to happen. And so they reached an understanding between the two of them. And I think that was just like, again, just to the evolution of characters. Like, hey, they're comfortable where they're at. You know what I mean? Like Kingpin knows he's going to do some dirty stuff, even though he's running for mayor, right? And
Yeah.
Matt knows that at some point Kingpin is going to get dirty again. He knows it. And
We all
Kingpin
know.
knows that Matt knows that he's partly full of shit, right? So he's like, they're just like, yeah, okay, well, you put on a Daredevil costume, this is what's gonna happen. He's like, well, don't give me a reason to put it on again, and that's and that's
Yeah.
it, man. And I think that just that piece of dialogue there just like really show like, they were really comfortable where they were at, but also like ready to deal with each other at the drop of a hat. And I really like that, man. So I think with this next season coming up, I hope they have another fight scene, to kind of like put an exclamation point on everything that they have been through. But also, when comic wise, one of the Daredevil storylines I do like a lot is Devil's Reign.
Oh yeah.
And then in Devil's Reign, Kingpin is mayor, and he has this task force going against the heroes. So, like you said, so now you're involving, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Spider-Man, Luke Cage, and we know how that ends, right? So for those of you that don't know, and well, you can read the comic, pick it up. You're gonna read it anyway. Luke Cage ends up becoming mayor at some point. And so I think with that, it's like if they can translate that to the show, that'd be
Yeah,
amazing, man. That'll be amazing. And I hope they do it. I really hope they do it. I hope they can get Mike Coulter back to play Luke Cage, and bring them all back. Even Finn Jones as Iron Fist, like it was an okay show, but listen to the guy that's like, yeah, he only had a couple months to train as Iron Fist, so that's why the scenes are kind of like the way they are. Whatever, to bring them all back, man. I think with the Netflix writing team behind them, and I think it'll be a lot better. But if they can incorporate all of them and take stuff from that Devil's Reign storyline, I think that'd be an amazing show, man. And so I hope they do it. If they got 2 more seasons, right, Dean? Is that what you said?
Yeah, and I mean, they're even with some of the season 2 leaks on like the set for Daredevil. He's even got that like black and red suit from Devil's Reign.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, ooh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Now I'm not sure. Like, I know in the show, I think it's not really. I won't say it's not really a black costume because you kind of see it when you look at the pictures of it.
It's like he spray painted
Yes.
because there's some parts where it's like really like most of it's black, but then there's some shots on set where it's like it looks like there's like maybe something like chipped off the black paint, so there's like
Yeah.
streaks of red here and there.
Yeah. He did like
But
the Miles Morales thing with the spray paint. So
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it goes hard as hell. Especially with the double D's on the chest. I was elated when I saw
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot, man. So like with that season, season one being over, Born Again, like you know, start with Willie on this. Um, what are you looking forward to for season two of this show, and what characters would you like to see in it?
um, like we said before, I think new characters or bring old ones get more involved with the rest of the Daredevil universe. I think
Mhm.
this is a good opportunity to not to go back and show whatever you already show on Netflix. I think it's a good opportunity to Disney to bring something fresh, something new. Like you say, if we can bring a Spider-Man and gets that kind of, let's say, level of the Bendis era, right? With Daredevil when it was one of the best in on the comic book, right? The
Mhm.
Michael Bendis and I don't remember what is the artist. Yeah, well, it's okay. That relationship between Spider-Man and Daredevil, it was always super cool, and I would love to see that in a TV show.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Without in for season two, if you show me something of that, I will be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since Daredevil showed up in No Way Home. It's like, hey man, I showed up in your movie. Just show up in
Yeah.
my TV show, man.
Yeah. It's
At
only
least one of
fair,
his.
right?
Yeah, because Kingpin even kind of did. I mean, he didn't do like a just Spider-Man, but he did kind of reference him with that, like, what was it, or a man who dresses as a spider,
Oh
like
yeah.
going around.
Man dresses as a spider.
Oh, that damn voice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying with you guys, man. I'm looking. I really want to see Spider-Man in it, even if it's a cameo. I don't know, like, how much it would cost to have Tom Holland and Spider-Man in it.
I
Uh,
think I did see a figure that said something about I think it's like 5 million, like at least for a cameo
oh, okay.
that Sony charges for like Spider-Man.
Oh,
So
okay.
they are still pretty stingy on the use of Spider-Man.
Yeah, yeah. I know that's man. That's another topic for another day, man. They need to just they just give it up, man. Like, you guys tried it, and don't get me wrong. Like, I think they made one of the, I think Into the Spider Verse is still, man, one of the best Spider movies, out
Oh
there for
yeah.
me, Um, and that's like I like the Tobey Maguire stuff and everything like that, but anything Spider Man, I'm here for it, man.
Oh yeah.
I just want to see them, if it adds to the show, and I think they have a really good opportunity now with this new Daredevil show to kind of like kickstart, people being interested in what Marvel's doing. Like Willie said, if they start doing something brand new, and you bring in some of those existing characters, but also bring in some new people that have to deal with Kingpin being mayor, and I think for me, like, you have to kind of upgrade like the weapons they're using for me, because it's like, yeah, okay, I can see like you guys just have regular bullets and stuff and guns when you're dealing with like Daredevil and the Punisher, right?
Mm.
You bring in Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Spider-Man, and you guys are gonna have to have some type of super weapons or something, man. You know what I mean? To kind of like to match that. So,
Yeah,
so I would like to see like how they plan on trying to contain or kill those characters, that actually have superpowers. So that'd be interesting to see too, because I think now even the Judas bullets don't hurt Luke Cage anymore. I think he's like evolved past that. Um,
Yeah.
so, and then with Spider-Man, I mean, Spider-Man's like super strong. So I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting too, because the events of Daredevil Born Again with out vigilantes are outlawed, like that's gonna affect Spider-Man Brand New Day in some way.
Yeah. And I think like with the comics with Devil's Reign, it's different because you have supervillains that you can bring into that to kind of like help Kingpin contain the heroes, right? In this show, you really don't have that. You have Bullseye. Um, I think that's pretty much it, unless
Yeah,
Typhoid Mary from what show was she from? Was that Jessica Jones?
I think it. Yes.
Right, she was in the season of just guys in the comments, drop a comment down below, let us know what show she was in. But I'm pretty sure that was Jessica Jones.
Yeah, not gonna lie. Personally, I wish the purple guy didn't get killed off.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
he would have been a pretty good like later on villain at some point, but I understand he had to go.
yeah, yeah. He was a good villain too, man. Yeah, like Willie said, man, just bring in the existing characters, bring in some new characters, But yeah, I think they have a really good opportunity to do something special with the Disney Plus shows, and kind of like kind of turn around that some people are like, I like this show, this was stupid, I didn't like this one, this was stupid. I think you bring them together, and then after they're done with Born Again, you can kind of like, now we can start brand new shows with all these characters, and that can be a good jumping off point for them on the television side, because now it's like, if you're getting the same quality at home as you would get in the movie theater. I mean, like you guys said, I love to sit down and see another season of Jessica Jones or Moon Knight or Luke Cage and Iron Fist, Heroes for Hire. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that would be peak.
that would be really good, man. So I hope they do it. I hope they do it, man. It's just, we'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah, but everyone watching the video, thank you guys for watching, tuning in. Again, I'm Eric Sheffield with Willie Roberts and Mean Dean here. We really enjoy talking about this Daredevil show, Netflix versus the new Disney stuff. If you guys have anything you want to ask us, put in the comments down below. Again, we're gonna do some more shows talking about what Willie does, because as I mentioned before, if you guys haven't heard me before, Willie is an amazing artist. He's done comic books and cover pages, and he's in the good terms hobnob with the snobs at Comic-Con last year, man. So he's got a lot of good info, and his interactions with the rest of the comic industry, being there in the San Diego Comic-Con. So we're definitely going to touch on that later on down the line. So if you guys have any questions when it comes to doing comic books or covers, if you would like Willie to help you do a comic book cover, drop a comment down below, and you guys can talk, and he can give you his information, and you guys can talk outside of here. And yeah, trust me, the guy is an amazing artist. Make sure you get in touch with him and create something. Trust me, I know from experience. You don't want to miss out on that. So it's a good opportunity. Get involved. Thanks again, guys, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah, man. Thank you. See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.